I'm Ethan, 29 years old, and I can still see the way the snow fell that February night in our small Michigan town, catching the streetlights outside our apartment window. The living room was warm, the glow of a single lamp casting shadows on the walls, but my chest felt cold as I stared at my phone, reading texts that weren't meant for me. My girlfriend Mia had been cheating for months, and I found out in the worst way, her own words, laughing about it with some guy named Jake. I wasn't thinking about revenge then. Not yet. But what she did, betraying me, lying to my face, pushed me to do something I never thought I would. I donated her precious clothes to charity, legally, and watched her world unravel. This is my story of heartbreak, anger, and getting even, all while staying true to who I am. Mia and I met 3 years ago at a local brewery in our town of Holland, Michigan. It was a summer evening, the lake breeze carrying the smell of hops and grilled food. I was there with friends, a beer in hand when she walked in, tall, with auburn hair and a laugh that turned heads. She was 27, a boutique manager with a knack for fashion, always in some designer outfit that made her stand out in our sleepy town. We hit it off over a shared love of craft beer and old vinyl records, spending that night talking until the bar closed. Soon we were together all the time, weekends at Lake Michigan, her picking out my shirts, me fixing her car when it broke down. I'm a mechanic, good with my hands, and I loved how she'd tease me about my greasy coveralls, calling me her blue-collar hero. We moved in together a year ago, into a cozy apartment with creaky wood floors and a view of the snow-dusted dunes. Mia's clothes took over half the closet, designer dresses, vintage coats, shoes she'd spent hundreds on. She'd spend hours curating her outfits, posting them on Instagram, building her Mia-style brand with thousands of followers. I didn't mind. I loved her passion, even if I didn't get why one pair of jeans cost more than my toolbox. I thought we were solid, planning a future, maybe a house, kids, the whole deal. I gave her everything, my time, my trust, my heart. She'd kiss me goodnight, her perfume lingering, and I'd fall asleep thinking I was the luckiest guy in Holland. But last fall, things started to crack. Mia got distant, always on her phone, smiling at messages she wouldn't show me. She'd stay late at the boutique saying it was inventory, but she'd come home smelling like cologne, not her usual lavender. I'd ask, and she'd brush it off. Just work, Ethan, don't be so clingy. I tried to believe her, but doubt crept in like the cold through our drafty windows. Then in early February, I got my proof. I was fixing her laptop, it was running slow, and she'd asked me to check it when I saw her messages open. She'd forgotten to log out of her iCloud. Texts to some guy named Jake, a coworker from the boutique, full of heart emojis and plans to meet up. One said, "Ethan's clueless. Can't wait to see you tonight." My hands froze, the laptop's glow harsh in the dark apartment, the snow falling silently outside. I felt like I'd been punched. I didn't confront her right away. I needed to be sure. I screenshotted the texts, my hands shaking, and saved them to my phone. That night, she came home late, her cheeks flushed, claiming she'd been closing the store. I looked at her, her auburn hair catching the lamplight, and asked, "You sure about that, Mia?" She laughed too quick and changed the subject. The next day, I checked her Instagram. Private posts, viewable only to her close friends, showed her at a bar with Jake, his arm around her, her smile brighter than it had been with me in months. I felt sick, but the hurt was turning to something harder, sharper. She thought she could cheat, lie, and keep living her perfect life in our perfect apartment. I wasn't going to let her. I started watching her closer. Mia was careless, leaving her phone unlocked, her laptop open. I found more messages to Jake, plans for a weekend away, even a text joking about how she'd upgrade from me. Each word cut deeper, but I stayed calm. I remembered her closet, those clothes she loved, her Mia-style identity tied to every dress, every coat. She'd bragged about their value, thousands of dollars in designer pieces. An idea formed, slow and steady, like the snow piling up outside. I could hit her where it hurt, not with fists or shouts, but with something legal, something that'd make her feel the loss I felt. I called my friend Derek, a lawyer who'd helped me with a lease dispute once. We met at the brewery, the same one where I'd met Mia, the air heavy with malt and winter chill. I showed him the screenshots, told him about her cheating. "Can I donate her clothes to charity?" I asked. "They're in my apartment, my name's on the lease." He nodded, sipping his stout. "If it's in your space, it's legally yours to handle, as long as you don't destroy or sell for profit. Charity's fine." He warned me to document everything, just in case. I went home, the snow crunching under my boots, and started planning. I'd donate her clothes to a local shelter, every last dress, and let her Mia-style brand crumble. I wasn't just getting even. I was taking back my dignity. That night, I sat in our living room, the lamp casting a warm glow, the snow falling heavier now. I looked at her closet, doors open, her clothes neatly hung like a museum display. Part of me wanted to stop, to talk to her, but then I remembered her texts, her laugh with Jake, the way she'd lied to my face. I grabbed a box from the hardware store, started folding her clothes, carefully, not angrily, and felt a strange calm. I wasn't going to let her break me. I'd donate her stuff the next morning when she was at work, and let her come home to an empty closet. I went to bed, the apartment quiet except for the wind outside, and for the first time in weeks I felt like I was in control. I woke up that February morning with a knot in my stomach, the kind that comes when you know you're about to change everything. The snow was falling again in Holland, Michigan, blanketing the streets outside my apartment, the dunes in the distance barely visible through the gray haze. The living room was quiet, the lamp casting a soft glow on the boxes I'd packed last night, Mia's designer clothes, her precious Mia-style collection, ready to be donated to the local shelter. I wasn't just giving away her dresses. I was taking back my life after she cheated with Jake and lied to my face. This was my revenge, calm and legal, and I was ready to see it through in our small town where secrets don't stay buried long. I loaded the boxes into my truck before dawn. The air so cold it stung my face, my breath clouding in the streetlight's glow. The shelter, Hope Haven, was a short drive away, a brick building with a sign that flickered in the snow. I carried the boxes inside, the receptionist's kind eyes meeting mine as I explained they were donations, dresses, coats, shoes, all high-end. "This'll mean a lot to our clients," she said, smiling. I nodded, my throat tight, picturing Mia's Instagram posts, her pride in those outfits. I didn't tell the receptionist whose clothes they were, just left them and drove back, the snow crunching under my tires. My hands were steady, but my heart was racing. Mia would be home from work in a few hours, and her closet would be empty. I waited in the apartment, the radiator humming, the snow piling up outside. Mia came home at 6 p.m., her key turning in the lock, her footsteps heavy on the creaky floors. I sat on the couch, my phone in hand, the screenshots of her texts with Jake ready if she tried to deny anything. She walked straight to the bedroom, probably to change, and then I heard it. A sharp gasp, followed by, "Ethan, where's my stuff?" She stormed out, her auburn hair wild, her face flushed with panic. "What did you do with my clothes?" she shouted, her eyes wide. I looked at her, calm as I could manage. "I donated them to Hope Haven. They were in my apartment, Mia. You cheated, you lied, and you don't get to keep playing perfect while I'm breaking." She froze, her mouth open, then started yelling about her brand, her money, how I'd ruined her. I held up my phone, showing the texts. "You ruined us when you chose Jake." She tried to argue, saying the clothes were hers, that I'd stolen them. I cut her off. "My name's on the lease. I checked with a lawyer. Those clothes were in my space, and I gave them to people who need them." Her face crumpled, not with sadness, but with anger, like she'd been caught. She grabbed her purse and left, slamming the door, the sound echoing in the quiet apartment. I sat there, the lamp's light soft on the walls, and felt a strange mix of relief and guilt. Had I gone too far? Then I remembered her texts, her laugh with Jake, the way she'd dismissed me. This wasn't about cruelty, it was about justice, about making her feel the loss I felt. The news spread fast in Holland. By the next morning, my phone was buzzing with texts from friends, co-workers, even the guy who owned the brewery. "Heard you donated Mia's wardrobe, man. Savage." The shelter posted a thank you on their Facebook page, not naming me, but praising the generous donation of high-end clothing. Locals commented, piecing it together. "Is this Mia's stuff? Bet she's pissed." Mia's Instagram, her Mia-style brand, went quiet. No new outfit posts, no stories. I checked her account. She'd lost hundreds of followers overnight, her comments filled with snarky remarks. "Where's your closet now, Mia-style?" I didn't gloat, but I felt a spark of satisfaction. Her brand was her life, and I'd hit it where it hurt. Mia called me the next day, her voice shaky, not angry anymore. "Ethan, you didn't have to do that. she said, like she was the victim. I was in my truck, parked outside the hardware store, the snow falling softly. You didn't have to cheat, I replied, my voice steady. You made your choices, Mia. I made mine. She hung up, and I heard later she'd moved out of her friend's place, probably to Jake's, though word around town was he'd dumped her too. Small towns talk, and Holland didn't let her forget. The brewery crowd, the boutique's customers, they all knew she'd cheated. And her Mia-style persona was a joke now. I went to Hope Haven a week later, dropping off some old tools for their repair program. The receptionist recognized me, showed me the clothing racks, Mia's dresses, neatly hung, already helping women in need. You made a difference, she said. I nodded, my throat tight, picturing Graham, who'd always taught me to give back. Donating Mia's clothes wasn't just revenge, it was something good coming from something ugly. I drove home, the dunes white with snow, the lake a frozen shimmer in the distance. My apartment felt lighter, like I'd cleared out more than just her closet. Life in Holland settled down. I kept working at the garage, fixing cars, my hands steady with a wrench again. Friends invited me to the brewery, and I started smiling more, the weight of Mia's betrayal fading. I even got a new record player, spinning vinyls she used to love, but now they were mine alone. Mia's name stopped coming up, her Instagram stayed dead, and I heard she moved to Grand Rapids, chasing a new start. Good luck with that. Small towns have long memories, and so do I. I'm 29 now, still in my cozy apartment, still turning wrenches in Holland where the snow falls and the dunes stand tall. I'm not proud of emptying Mia's closet, but I don't regret it either. She thought she could cheat, lie, and keep her perfect life while I fell apart. I showed her actions have consequences, and I did it my way, legal, calm, and sharp. If someone betrays you, don't let them rewrite your story. Fight back with the truth, steady and smart. Share your story in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.